It's the most stressful time of the year. I'm Danielle Metz,
I'm Robert Vaughn.
and this is the Danielle Metz Show, the annual Christmas edition. Quote, Christmas had come officially. We plunged into the cornucopia, quivering with desire and ecstasy of unbridled avarice, marveled Ralphie in the classic film A Christmas Story. Merry Christmas, Robert.
Merry Christmas.
I thought we'd do something a bit different this time and put politics aside, and instead talk about our holiday traditions, what we enjoy about the season, and what it was like growing up. Do you have any special memories from Christmas past?
Well, of course, it really is for kids, to tell you the truth, because as far as get-togethers go, we get together as family and friends anyway. We don't necessarily wait for Christmas as adults.
But there's no gifts on the other ones.
Actually, there are fewer and fewer gifts now because we sort of are putting that, well, not totally behind us, but, for the most part.
Yeah, we as well.
Yeah.
Except for the kids. The kids get the gifts.
Oh,
The adults are like we do with my husband's family. We do Secret Santa, and that is you get one gift for one person, and the kids get the gifts. It's not.
I think maybe for Christmas I should get better internet because you're just frozen there.
Say. It's probably because I actually took the time to do what you've complained about. I have a background. I have a poinsettia, a candle, and a Santa Claus. That is my Christmas gift to you.
I haven't complained about it. Maybe just a...
Yes, you have. It's too bland. You got to get something better than a wall. This is.
If anything, I think that you've been complaining because you see my background and you go, "Oh, I've got to get something behind me."
Well, since I can do this, maybe going forward, maybe my New Year's resolution will be to just put something random in the background every single time we do a show.
A Baby Yoda doll, yeah.
There you go.
I think they're out in June.
Oh yeah, Disney. Oh God, don't you get me started.
Yeah, so for us, as a kid, Christmas began for me when we received the Sears toy catalog.
Ooh, I remember those.
Yeah, maybe came around, I don't know exactly when, probably November 1st, October 1st, I forget to tell you the truth, but when that came, boy, we got out the pens and started to circle everything we wanted. Yeah.
Well, what was the outlet? The consumers
distributing.
Consumers distributing. Those catalogs were gold for me when I was a kid. Cabbage Patch Kids, all that stuff. Yep, the circling on the catalog was great.
Yeah, that's when it began for me. And then come Christmas time, of course, we didn't put up a tree until Christmas Eve because it would be a real tree. This was before the plastic ones came into being, the artificial ones. So my father would take us up into the White Hills of St. John's and cut down a real tree. Wow,
you actually got your own tree down? That's awesome.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and put it up Christmas Eve because it doesn't last for very long.
No, they don't last. And they become
January
quite the fire
2nd.
Hazard after a while.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it only lasts for 7, 8, 9 days or so. But I remember putting that up and putting it in that metal stand and having to water it and things like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I remember. I went through a phase where we did the real trees, and then they got so expensive. It's like $50, $60 just to get something that looks like a Charlie Brown Christmas tree now. So we switched to just an artificial tree, and because, again, with scheduling, Christmas time's very stressful, so having to go buy the tree, it's better you just have it, just unbox it, stick it up. In fact, I'm going to make a confession. I just put up our Christmas tree today, and it is the 23rd of December.
Yeah.
And I put all the balls on it and everything, and none of my kids were interested in it at all. All they're interested in is the presents beneath the tree and how excited they are about that.
Oh, of course.
It's kind of sad.
Selfishness. It's all about the self.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because when I was a kid, I really loved... there was a tradition. We did things that were regular. Like we had on Christmas Eve, we'd go to my grandmother's sister's house for Christmas Eve, and we'd meet with my dad's cousins, and we did that every single year. Then Christmas Day, we always knew we'd go to my grandmother's house for lunch, and that's what we do. And the tradition was very comforting. With excuse me, mixing of families and all of that stuff, and new families, and that tradition's kind of chaotic. New kids, new partners, new people involved. It creates the scheduling conflict, the stressfulness of the season, which I find is very hard to deal with. I still love it, but it's a lot of work.
Well, I went to the post office the other day to pick up a parcel, and the gal behind the counter asked, "Are you ready for Christmas?" And my answer was, "Yes, she is."
Yeah, that's kind of the way it works, isn't it?
It
But
unfortunately is, but I mean, if it wasn't for women, we wouldn't have any holidays, I don't think, anyway. So,
well, I like them and I don't like them. I like the fact that there is the tradition. I used to when I was a kid. I, I had a little handmade creche with the figures Mary, Joseph. I'm not religious at all, but I loved the idea. It was family. There's a mother, a father, a little baby. The three wise men, all that stuff. I really liked that sense of family, and I always thought Christmas was like a celebration of life. It wasn't a celebration necessarily of Jesus per se, because not being religious and but the fact that he's born apparently in spring if he did exist, I just like that everybody around Christmas time gets together to celebrate life, joy, happiness, and family and friends. And that to me is just a great cause for celebration. You don't really need anything other than that.
no, I think the original idea, most of the stuff the trappings of the holiday around here, of course, are all pagan. Even the Christmas tree, the gift giving, all of that stuff was originally
That's the
pagan
darkest
anyway.
time of year when you're in the north.
Yeah, and then of course there's the other traditions as well.
Aw, you didn't get me one.
If it weren't 50 miles away from me, I would have offered you some.
But yeah,
Yeah, so,
it's a very and like the New Year is right after 1 week exactly, so it's like a celebration of rebirth during the darkest time of the year for those of us who, like in Australia, they have the longest time of the year now because they're on the other side. But up here, where the tradition comes from, it is a denial of the darkness, as I like to call it. That's why we have
yes.
Christmas lights.
Yeah.
And one of the traditions I started with my eldest son was when we drive around during Christmas time, we'd point out all the Christmas lights. It'd be Christmas lights, Christmas lights. It was like a game to find all the Christmas lights. And my twins, who are just turned 7, they have the same. We do it. We get in the van. It's like point out all the Christmas lights, and everybody has to keep a score of how many Christmas lights they've pointed out. So I love that sense of celebration, the joy of the light rather than the darkness.
Yes.
Anything else?
I guess that's about it. I mean, Christmas is Christmas, and it's
Well,
an
what did you
enjoyable
do when
time
you were
of
a kid
year.
other than put the tree up like on Christmas Eve? Like my Oma, when she talked about Christmas, because she grew up in Hungary during the Depression and then during the World War II, if she got an orange in her stocking, that was considered the best treat she could ever get, because fresh fruit in that area of the world at that time was so rare. And then now look at what I've got for my kids in their stockings, and I'm like, they're so spoiled.
Oh, I know.
But that's good.
I do remember some particular gifts that stood out, from Santa Claus. Back in the day, you're thinking early mid 60s for me, a lot of the toys were actually metal because plastic hadn't come
That's right.
around. And so you'd have the old guns with the dynamo inside and the sparks would fly out of it.
Oh, I love those things. Those are awesome. I used
Yeah,
to sell them at the variety store across the street from me when I was a kid, and we used to get them all the time.
or cap
Those
guns
little
with
cap,
with
yeah.
the old cap guns,
And
yeah.
and then the little the paper ones with the little pieces of, yep, those are great. I love those.
Rolls of caps, yeah. And then
Yep.
a little older, I would get things like a chemistry set, which I really liked, and a toy fort. Gosh, I can't remember the name, but I did see one on Richmond Street in London not too long ago. They had this antique toy there, and I go, oh my God, antique.
Awesome.
I owned one. It was just a fort with plastic figurines. Plastic had come into its own by then. Plastic figurines, and I'm sure the name will come to me after we hang up. But
Of course.
and then a thing like a microscope.
I was just about to say, I still have it, a wooden box with a microscope in it with glass plates, and it comes with a couple of like specimens on the plates, and it comes with a knife so you can cut yourself to put your own blood on one of the plates and look under a microscope. I'm like, that would never happen today. There's no.
Yes, I had that, and it would come with a lancet, which
Yeah.
would be scalpel blades, lancets,
Yep.
which are very fine, pointy
Yep.
things for manipulating the specimens. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the chemicals that we had in the chemistry set were
Yeah.
interesting as well. Yeah.
It's amazing how much more trusted we were as kids back in
Yeah.
the day. We because I am doing my best to trust my twins in particular, because the first child, you're always like, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I just got to make sure. I wasn't a helicopter parent per se, but I was aware. With the twins now, it's just like, oh, you need to get something, grab a chair, climb up, go get it on the counter and do whatever you got to do. Oh, you need your scissors, go ahead. Just don't run with them. But if you need scissors to open something, here you go. I don't have a problem. Oh, you need a knife or something? I'll give you that. It's not a problem.
Of course, back in the day, we had more children as a rule.
So they were expendable?
You could afford to lose one or two, and you'd still have for your progeny.
I've got spares. My parents don't have spares. I'm an only child, so they only got the one. I've got 3 children and a stepdaughter, so I've got lots of spares.
Yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, I find gifts in particular are completely different now than they were even when I was growing up. I mean, yeah, I had the Cabbage Patch Kids and the stuff that's kind of recycled now, like strawberry shortcake and some other things. But the level of like lawn darts, I got lawn darts. Nobody can have lawn darts anymore.
No.
You'll
put your eye out. Yeah.
Yeah. Red Ryder BB gun, can't have that. No. So I find the generational shift between Christmases of past, where you got stuff that showed you were growing up. You're old enough to, we respect the you can handle this responsibly. We respect you to do so. Now it's just like, yeah, no, you're getting a video game because you can't hurt yourself with that. And we have to make sure it's not marked, for teenagers or for adults. So we have to even, curtail that. Can't shoot anybody when you're a kid. Can't do anything. No weapons, no nothing. I actually didn't think I'd take it this direction, but yeah, that is actually a very interesting reflection on Christmases past.
Yeah.
Is the changing, I guess, responsibility of children, or how we see them, and I'm sad about that, actually. Aw.
Well, that's more a reflection on culture in general, I guess, too, isn't it? Not just
yeah,
Christmas.
it is. We think we hold children as children for too long. And that's something I've rarely vowed not to do. Like my eldest son, he wants to go out. Just tell me when you're going to be home, or let me know if you're going to be late. Go, knock yourself out. When my kids want to do something, it's like, okay, just, if it's something that you think you might have to ask me. Otherwise, I don't care. Just go do it. Because I respect you, and I think I've raised you well enough that I can trust you to be responsible within reason. And I know you're going to do things that I'm not going to like.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to do things that are stupid, but that's the whole point of being a kid, is doing it while I'm still here to help you pick up the pieces if you do anything stupid. Oh, well, on that cheery note, Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. Cheers.
If you've enjoyed this presentation, visit justrightmedia.org for more programming that's not right-wing, it's just right.